Hey everyone, it's Keiana. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're sitting down. I pulled out the flowers for some decoration and we're going to be talking about how I got my full-time job as an actuary a whole year before graduating from university, and technically with no experience, but that's not 100% true, so we'll talk about that as well. I'm also going to give you guys some tips on networking and just anything that kind of stood out and helped me along my journey. So this is going to be kind of like a sit down story time kind of vibe, so grab a drink, grab a snack, grab a cup of tea, grab your notebook. By the way, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe. Helps me out, helps you out. Well, probably doesn't really help you out, but helps me out. Yeah, okay, let's go. Alright, so let's take this story back to 2018. This was the end of my second year of university and right before I started third year. So why my story starts then is because at my school, they have an internship program. But when you apply to the university, you're not automatically accepted into the internship program, the co-op program, whatever. So if you've seen my college experience video, I talked about how in first year, second year, me and my friends, we were just on a party spree. All we kind of cared about was just socializing and all that stuff, and as a result my grades suffered. They weren't horrible, but they were, I guess, average, mediocre. And when you're in actuarial science, especially in a program that, you know, people are competing just to get into an internship program, people are typically getting fairly high grades. So that was the first slap in my face. In the summer of 2018, right before entering my third year, I actually received confirmation that I was not accepted into my internship program. And at that moment I was like, oh, okay, like I need to stop cruising, because I was cruising my whole way. You know, I cruised my way from math into ACTUARY, which, like I said in my other video, we didn't, even when entering the university, you weren't automatically accepted into the ACTUARY program. And my cruising got me into the ACTUARY program, but it did not get me into my co-op program, which is obviously where the value is, because work experience while you're in university is really, really, really important. In my opinion, I would say having work experience is low-key more important than even passing an exam while you're in university. Well, technically, we'll talk about it. Alright, so upon receiving the news that I wasn't gonna get accepted into the internship program, I was like, alright, I need to find a way to make myself the best candidate I could be before next year, so that I can just feel more reassured by the time I graduate, so that even if I don't get a job before I graduate, at least I'm in a better position. So my whole plan was for third year was that I needed to pass an exam, I needed to network as much as I can, and I needed to just fix my resume up, because I knew I would be going to networking conferences. I started calling literally anyone I knew that knew someone in actuarial science or just in a finance corporate job, anything. I just started messaging anyone I knew, my mom knew, the parents of my friends knew, anyone. So in regard to fixing up my resume, I knew SAS, I knew Python, I knew R, but at very basic levels. I threw them on my resume. I put basic knowledge of R, Python, SAS, because these are the things you want to put on your actuarial science resume. Anything that stands out to the career. So all these coding skills, all these Excel skills, all these Microsoft Office skills, and I had no exams too. So, you know, I had to just make with what I had. I put all the volunteer club positions that I held at clubs. I was in a lot of leadership roles, which really helped me out at the time as well. So I just threw everything on there and I wrote a solid cover letter so that if any opportunity came out of the blue, I had everything good to go. Because the thing about having a resume prepared is that you take the stress off it when you just do it on your own time. But when it's that you see a job application and then you have to rush put your resume together, it can be very overwhelming. So before the year started, I just put everything all together so that when the time comes, if anything, I get another exams, I can just add it on. So that was that. In regard to the exams, so I decided to take exam P or FM that term. I failed it. I don't know which one I took, but I tried to take an exam in 2018 and I think it was FM and I failed it. So that didn't really help me out. So the next thing was networking. Networking is what I arguably will say is the biggest thing that helped me get this job. I was looking for any opportunity to talk to people that were above me, and not just people that are recruiters or employers. I was talking to anyone that was an actuary. I didn't really use LinkedIn that much. I'm not into it, but I went to every single networking event that my school offered that I could get into. I went to external networking conferences, and all of this was so that that I could get an internship, because I was like, all right, maybe the way to getting a full-time job is to just get an internship anywhere. So there were two networking conferences that made a significant impact into how I got this job. The first one was this event for the International Association of Black Actuaries. So this is an organization that was founded in the States, but they were launching their first affiliate in Canada, specifically Toronto. So my professor and even my department, the Faculty of Math, they always send out emails and networking opportunities for students. So first of all, make sure you're always checking your emails for opportunities and actually read through them and see what's there to offer. I know a lot of the times it was filled with case competitions, and I wasn't really interested in case competitions, but you'd be surprised how participating in case competitions and stuff like that can actually help you secure internships, because you're meeting people. And once you meet people, guys, networking is where it's at. You need to put yourself out there and just meet as many people in the field that you can. Because hear me out, even if you're meeting someone that is like your math professor or something like that, most likely your math professor knows an actuary, right? Someone out there must know an actuary. So you want to just, you know, meet as many people as you can. So anyways, I went to the networking event for IABA, and it was such a small turnout, but that was a good thing for me. So I was the youngest person that showed up there. I was able to meet a lot of professionals, which is a good thing. I like to be surrounded with people that are above me. I think people get really intimidated when they're the youngest in the room or they're the least qualified in the room, but that's actually the best place to be, because everyone that you're talking to can help you advance because they're above you. You're not teaching anyone anything. You're just soaking in all this knowledge. And when you're part of groups like that, and this doesn't have to be just groups for like, you know, specific races or anything, like even your school actuarial club. I wasn't really a part of this actuarial club at my school. I didn't even go to anything that they ever hosted. I don't even know if they hosted events, but stuff like that. If you're in second year, first year, whatever, and you're joining a club like that, the leaders of the club are often in third years, fourth year, and the leaders of the club are often people that are smart or qualified, or they're getting their stuff done. So building relationships with people like that can be helpful, especially when it comes to getting referred for finding jobs or internships or whatever, what have you. So anyways, being a part of IABA, I met a bunch of people that were more professional than me, and I actually met one of the directors of the SOA, and I don't even know if he remembers me right now, but I have worked with him a lot since joining IABA. And that, even though when you look at it, like this is just the director of the SOA, like I'm not gonna ask him for a job, it still just is nice to be able to say you're working with these people, because it's not like I'm gonna go in an interview and be like, you should hire me because I've worked on projects with the SOA director. But it's also like, if I'm working on an event that's hosted by the SOA or in partnership with the SOA, it just kind of looks good on you, because it's like, you don't even have exams, you don't have job experience. Like, who are you? You're working with these people. There must be some value to you, you know? In summary, being a part of IABA really helped me, one, to be able to talk to professionals. I was no longer scared to talk to people that are more mature, older. It's just a good position to be in. So join organizations, join clubs, blah, blah, blah. And if you have any questions, guys, feel free to comment them down below. I'm sharing this information like a story, so I may miss things. So if you have any questions, just leave it down below. So the next networking event that I went to that really did, well, this is what got me the job, is I went to ASNA. So ASNA stands for Actuarial Students National Association, but basically it's a networking conference for actuarial students in Canada, and tons of companies come here. I did a whole video all about ASNA with a recruiter too, so you guys can watch that video for tips. But that whole event, it's like actuarial students, like that's where you need to go if you need a job or if you want to network. The first year I went there, so third year, I met a bunch of companies. I met companies, I met recruiters at different companies, and I didn't really think I was gonna get a job there. Like I said, I showed up there, still no exams, no job experience, basic knowledge of Python, R, and SAS. Like I didn't really intend to get jobs, especially when I got there. I met a bunch of people from like the University of Waterloo, and they had like 1 to 2 exams or more, and they had a bunch of work experience, and I'm like, all right, how am I gonna get hired when these qualified people were there? So my thing was to just go talk to as many people as I could, because you know. So for the specific company that I ended up working at, the recruiter that came back and hired me, like I didn't even plan to meet him. I just like met him accidentally, and we just had a casual conversation. And you know, you have to remember that recruiters and stuff like that, they're not people to be intimidated by, especially a lot of the recruiters that go to like ASNA and stuff like that. You know, you have some of them that are older, but you also have some of them that are younger. And I gravitate to anyone that is younger or just seems more vibrant and bubbly, because when I talk to older people, I just get kind of but when I talk to people that seem more relaxed or they seem closer to my age, I'm like, all right, I can just go have a conversation. Because just put yourself in the shoes of, what if you were a recruiter? How would you want someone to talk to you? Just casual, relax, just say, you know, how's your day going? Like, what's going on? Like, yeah, a bunch of boots are here. Yeah, it's really overwhelming. It's my first time being here. And that was how I approached different recruiters. I was just like, you know, I'm just here to network, meet people, because I want to take the career more seriously. Or, well, don't really say that, but you know, I'm trying to just learn more about the career. And everyone said this was the perfect place. And they'll say like, oh yeah, like this definitely is the best place for you to be. Like, oh, where's your resume? Make sure you have your resumes always. And you know, that's how it is. So I had casual conversations with everyone, and that's how it went. And I ended up leaving ASNA and I didn't get a job. I just didn't. And it's fine. Like I said, I didn't expect to go there to get a job. I just didn't think I was qualified. But one thing I did do, and I should mention this, so when I gave my resume to companies, a common question that many of the recruiters would ask is, when do you want to start, if we do consider you or whatever? And because of the situation I was in, I said, oh, I would be interested in starting in the fall or in the winter. I didn't say summer. And the reason I didn't say summer, because of my situation where I felt like I wasn't, that great of a candidate, I knew summer was more competitive. So I was like, all right, I'll take fall because I don't mind taking a year off school. I would rather get the work experience because it will set me up for the future, yada, yada, yada. So did that, and then left ASNA, had no job, and this would have been January. 5 months later, in either May or June, one of the recruiters from that company that I had that where I met the random guy, that same random guy actually called me. He was like, hey, like, are you still interested in looking for job opportunities here? Blah, blah, blah. And of course I was interested, because like, yeah, like yeah. So had a good conversation, ended up landing the interview and landing the job. And this was just for my internship though. So I got that internship opportunity for 8 months. And while I was there for the 8 months, I actually asked for an extension to stay another 4 months. And then I actually asked to stay for another 4 months working part-time when I came back to school. I was able to do that because not only was I very, interested in what I was doing there, I was liked by the people I was working with, because I made the effort to engage with these people outside of just asking them questions about the job. I tried my best to speak with these people as much as I could. So yeah, landing that internship was a big step into how I got this job. So this job would have started in September of 2019. So there were a few key things that I did while I was at this job that I know was what landed me my job opportunity. So first things first is that I made sure to work with and meet as many people as possible. So I was given the opportunity to work for an 8-month contract from September to April. And keep in mind, this is actually when COVID started. COVID started in the March of when my internship was supposed to end. So I worked at the company for 8 months and I really liked it there. It was very much up my alley. The work environment was very in line with what I am into. You guys know, if you watch my I Don't Dream of Labor video, I talked about working at companies that don't make me feel like I'm in some hustle culture, grind, shark kind of environment. I don't like that. It doesn't sit well with me. I like companies that care about the mental health of their employees and all that kind of stuff. So this company was very much in line with all my personal values. Everyone there was very friendly, was very happy and relaxed. You see, when you work at companies that prioritize the mental health of their employees, you get managers and leaders that are nice to you. And I only emphasize that because I have friends, they're not actuaries, but they've worked at companies that the managers, their leaders are rude to them. And even some of them that did actuarial internships at other companies. And I have a friend that decided she just didn't want to be an actuary altogether just because of how her internship went. So your internship can be a make or break in how you view the career sometimes. So anyways, that's just what I'll say on that. So anyways, so while I was at the company, I was actually able to network with a lot of people. They have a lot of social events, and most companies do, and I made sure to talk to as many people as I could. I sat at different tables with people I didn't know sometimes, and specifically people that aren't interns. I made sure to talk to people that, like I said, are above me. It's so important to surround yourself with people that are above you. And let me tell you how that was important. When I finished my first 8 months, because I actually did ask for an extension at that job, so I actually ended up working there for 16 months. From 8 months to 16 months, it was like every 4 months I would come back and say, hey, can I actually get an extension till the end of summer? Hey, can I actually get an extension till the end of the year? Like, I just kept extending it, which first of all already shows that I'm invested in the company, because people are trying to hire people that are invested in the company. Me asking for extensions over and over and over again, it shows that I obviously like it there, like, or I wouldn't have asked for an extension. Anyways, I was able to work with a lot of different people. I met a bunch of people that were above me. I would go and talk to the boss of my boss in his office and just say like, yeah, like, how are you? How are your kids? Like, we'd talk about, I would make jokes. And you have to put yourself in the mindset when you are an intern that you're not an intern, you're another employee. Don't closet yourself. Don't small up yourself. I don't know how to say this in like a professional context, but put yourself out there. Don't act like super shy and like you can only speak when you're spoken to. Like, none of that, guys. Like, put yourself out there. You need to sell yourself. You need to act as if you deserve to be there. Act as if you belong there. Make them forget you're an intern. You know, aside from the fact that I just was not as experienced as everyone else, I made it a point to just interact with so many different people that even people at the company would be like, oh, how'd you know them? And I'm like, oh yeah, like we just met, you know, and all of this, guys, once again, I'm not an outgoing person. I am such a shy person. I get a lot of social anxiety. I like talk to people that I guess I would have been friends with there. Like, sometimes I would just like shy away from conversations. Sometimes I'm just really shy. But when it comes to securing a job, you know, that's just something that it has to happen. I need to put myself out there. So long story short, all these tips, I did a bunch of putting myself out there to make sure people liked me, to make sure that when they think of someone that they want to work with, they think of me, because people aren't only hiring you for what you can offer technically, because you can teach anyone to do anything. And that's something that people need to remember. When a company is hiring you, they're not only hiring someone that can code or something like that. They're looking for someone that's likable, someone that people want to be around, someone that people can work with. And I was all of those things. So anyways, that is a big advice I would give to you guys. And long story short, it's all of this networking that made me able to actually go back and apply for a full-time position. So how the technical process of applying for the full-time position worked is, when you're leaving a company as an intern, sometimes it's always good to ask, hey, are there future internship opportunities here? Are there future full-time job opportunities here? I did that and I just went for it, and I said, you know what, like, if you guys have any full-time opportunities, let me know. And I did that, and they did, and I applied and I got it. And yeah, so I got the job a year before I graduated, which made my final year such a breeze, because I was just like, I'm employed, baby. And yeah, so I hope this story helps anyone. I hope I didn't miss anything. If you guys do have any questions for me, feel free to comment them down below. Final thoughts or anything I want to leave you guys with is just to believe in yourself. Don't act like an intern, just act like another coworker, employee. Network. And PS, I obviously did eventually pass exams while on the internship. I didn't just get all of this without no exams in the end. And technically working at the company gave me experience. So I had experience by the time I was applying to work full-time. I had an exam by the time I was applying to work full-time and all that stuff. So yeah, and this is why I think I mentioned it at the start of the video, work experience is important, because with work experience, most companies pay for your exams. They give you all this experience for all the coding languages and all of that stuff. So y'all should see how my resume improved from the start to the end. It was just like, whoa. But yeah, anyways, that is all I have for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like I said, if you have any questions, comments, anything, leave them down below. I will definitely reply. I reply to all my comments. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one, I guess.